Oh, hell yeah, boys. Who are you? Who's watching this shit? Not been on this shit in a while, so... Literally had to set all this bullshit up. Throw it together very quickly. And do my shit, so... Yeah, right now I'm still trying to find a nice chill way, boys, so I need some nice ambient music before I hop in. So I'm going to be doing something a little bit different than normal. There's a guy called Gilbert, and I've kind of got involved in this Zeitgeist movement stuff again in a very minor capacity. You guys, my audience, may be very bored with this. This might be a very bored topic, but this is kind of like inadvertently what I was involved in. And I've also been like really, what was taking the majority of my time was a project I was working on, and I will probably be occupying. So this is one of those rare moments where I hop on randomly and I have some time to kill and show you guys some shit that I've been doing outside of streaming. So, long story short, I've been kind of acting like a mediator for another group called the Zeitgeist Movement. I suppose that's the way to put it. And I'm gonna, be talking to a guy called Gilbert, and he's just some dude I met, and he seems okay. I've had past history with the guy, and to be honest, it's not been so hot. I would say it wasn't a pleasurable experience, but it was an experience. And, we're just going to have kind of a chill stream. So let me find a chill wave for you guys. Just ambient music for the background before I pop Gilbert on stream here. I want to get something at least an hour long so I don't have to continue to...
Can you convince my dad to ditch his expensive wireless plan?
Right now,
got an advertisement, boys.
For $100 a month.
How about this brand new phone?
Free.
Well, I always like free.
Switch to Boost and get 4 lines, each with unlimited gigs for $100 a month. Plus, get 4 free LG Stylo 4 phones.
Hey, Creatina, thanks for telling me, man. If you have any problems with voice and shit, just tell me about that. But I gotta do a preamble. We're not talking about public IRL streamers, so this is... If I do introduce public IRL streamers, that's just going to be like a thing. So I just want to give you guys a heads up, basically. So I'm going to bring Gilbert on, and, if another person comes on, there's Woodpecker. If you guys want to, like, hop into the Discord, too, more than happy. I'm not using the POV prank Discord, though, or the Cream Team Discord. I'm on the Zeitgeist Movement Discord, so I'll try to post a link up. I'm literally trying to throw this shit together, so one moment. Fuck. Seems like I'm yelling at you guys. I don't mean to yell. Yo, Cretin, how's my voice going, man? Can you hear me? Yo, Gilbert, can you hear me, dude?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me accurately as well?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you're live right now. All you guys are live right now currently, so... Also, are you in the, can you see the chat room?
Yes, I can see.
Okay, great. We got one customer so far, so that's pretty good for me. So,
yeah,
what's going on, man?
Could you provide context to the question, just so I know?
Oh, no, I just mean, how are you today? What's going on?
Yeah, today's been very good. I have today, if we're talking about the Zeitgeist movement, proposed some ideas to move us forward. So I guess in that regard, it has been eventful, but for the rest, I'm good.
Oh, hell yeah. And yeah, I just been kind of hanging out on this Discord, the Zeitgeist Movement Discord. Basically, someone invited me in here, and I know, Gilbert, that you know all this stuff already, but towards my audience, so they know where I'm coming from. I just been kind of hanging out on this Discord, chatting with Woodpecker and Gilbert, and all this other stuff. I've kind of had past history with the Zeitgeist movement, so it's not been pleasant. But I think things are turning around from what I see right now, and I just kind of wanted to get you guys, my audience, to kind of show you around the what I'm currently doing. I've also been working on a project as well. That has been occupying most of my time, and it's actually this particular project's pertaining to public IRL streamers, and like enhancing the tool sets that they have. But I don't really want to get into that right now. But Gilbert, how long have you you recently came back to the Zeitgeist movement?
Yeah, I don't think I've really been away from it, but I had to take my time as well as everybody else that has a life. I can explain a little bit more about my involvement in the Zeitgeist movement, I guess, if that's wanted.
Absolutely.
Should
Go ahead.
we start there?
Yeah.
Okay, so I came in when I was 20 something, at the beginning of the movement. I've at that point just taken a look around, and I did try to get in touch with my local chapter, which was not really a good experience in my opinion, and that made me wanting to involve myself more with the global level of the movement, because I didn't see a good continuation of my involvement on the national level, if you will. So I did get involved with the global chapter, as much as you can describe it to be something. I got involved there. I talked to a lot of people, and I said, the least thing that we can do is unify people. So that's what I did. I unified people, and I made a product that's called the International Meeting now, a tradition that's still being done by people that are still involved in the movement. So I guess it was not such a bad thing to invoke. I can also say, and I understand, we've talked in private as well. There's been a lot of questionable things going around in the movement. Not everybody's happy with all decisions that have been made, and that's quite normal. I understand that. For me, it's not normal either. I mean, it's a lot of responsibility making decisions on such a level, but I'm happy that we made it. At least made it till here. So I guess you're free to ask me anything that you would like.
So what can you explain to my people, my audience who has no clue what the Zeitgeist movement is? What is the Zeitgeist movement to you?
Yeah, that's a fair question. The Zeitgeist movement represents a train of thought, and that train of thought is quite clear. And what we do as the Zeitgeist movement is express that train of thought and help people educate other people on what that train of thought is. And I guess that might not sound that concise to other people that don't know Zeitgeist movement. We're really just an information institute, and I guess that's where a lot of confusion happens as well, because people expect us to be also active in the political spectrum, which is not what we aspire to be at this point in time, which could happen in the future, but at the moment it's just making sure that people understand what is possible, compared to what other parties want to evoke, I guess, to make it simple. But please do ask questions to
okay.
make it more concrete
when
for people.
when people watch Zeitgeist 1 and Zeitgeist 2, because I am familiar with the Zeitgeist movement, they perceive it as, not having, like, it's a utopia. It's the Venus Projects, where robots are doing the future and all this other stuff. Would you agree with that notion, or is that or is that a mistaken thing? Is this a potentially where people can develop communes, or how do people interact with this movement? Does this movement benefit people in any way, or is that the wrong train of thought within the Zeitgeist movement? Does that make sense?
Well,
I hope that makes sense.
The question makes sense.
Okay.
Of course.
Great.
So I need a moment to process it as
No
well.
problem.
Yeah, I mean, to say that, having communes and, establishing communities, if that's a bad thing, I wouldn't say that it is per se. I'm just saying we need to stay true to the train of thought that establishes this movement, which is educating people on the possibilities of a new tomorrow, which is what I think that the core of TZM properly understands. And I guess that's why we've survived so long. But I do get the notion, I do get the suggestion of people when they say, okay, well, but we need something more tangible. Okay, and that's not an unfair point and not an unfair suggestion on their part either. So where do we go from there? I guess at the moment it's more important to get more people involved in the initial train of thought to make sure that we at least explain what the possibilities are when the system cracks down. And that really is important to me and to a lot of movement followers. But that doesn't mean that we don't hear and don't see the notion that people that want to get involved want something more tangible. I understand that. It's just understanding the movement is a very big thing, and I don't think it's being understood in the way that it does need to be.
Absolutely. Okay, because there's all this miscommunication and misinformation, I suppose, of what Zeitgeist movement is, as opposed to what it isn't, basically. And to me, that was the most confusing part, was all that stuff. Woodpecker, I don't mean to, I can't DM you right now, but apparently someone said they entered the Discord and they're already, like, they're already muted, basically. Is that true, or?
If they rejoin, I'll see if I can change it.
Okay.
Yeah, but I mean, I think it's a good question. And, as I've mentioned before in things that your audience wouldn't know, because we've talked about it in private, the Zeitgeist movement has been a very chaotic experience for a lot of people. There were a lot of people with different expectations that came into here, and it was very difficult to manage. And yeah, as you've said yourself before, you would have liked to see different things go in a different way. I think that I can ascribe to that myself. I would have liked to see that, but we are here where we are now, and I think we have a good premise to start things over again in a good way. So I'm ready. Yeah.
Okay, so some of the harder questions. Oh, hey, wait. Junk Andy says, I know why it did that, because the invite leak was for a voice chat. Yeah. Junk Andy, if you want a voice chat, you can come in here and hop in and voice chat. If that's okay with you, Gilbert. I kind of have random people pop in.
Absolutely.
Okay. It's a little bit different than a typical thing. I normally let anyone hop in, and that's when shit usually occurs, where we have good discussions, and then we have some real shitheads that have to go ban. Okay, and I'm not against banning, but and then we get some interesting people too. So
I'm not really afraid of it. I mean,
Okay.
I think that if you perform a public role for this movement, then you need to be ready to answer any kind of question. And I mean, yeah, I welcome everybody to ask questions that they want.
Yeah, and just to reiterate, Junkie Andy, we're not talking about public IRL streamers currently right now. It's a different genre entirely. This is kind of what I was originally doing with my YouTube channel before I went into public IRL streaming, you know, commentary, I suppose is a way to put it. So, anyways, Gilbert, I'm gonna have to reiterate that a bunch of times for people who come into the channel. But Gilbert,
Yeah.
what do you think? What do you think were some of the mistakes with the movement? Because the movement's been around since what, 2008, 2009 at least. It's been around for just about a decade, if not a decade. What would you think were some of the positive things within TZM, and then some of the negative things within TZM? And I may press you on more on the negative aspects, but
I wouldn't expect anything less.
All right,
I told
all
you,
right.
make life really sour for me. Ask me the hardest questions that you want.
You know, I'm thinking when you answer these that, you know, if Zuko ever gets his hands on this to try to see where you're coming from, because I want to give you a fair shake, just like everybody I do. I you know that you know if you're not able to chat with him, which I think he should chat with you, to be honest. I think he should be able to chat with you in some capacity, and we can get into that a little bit later. But I want him to at least, you know, if he listens to this, you can send him this as well to at least hear what you have to say. But I want you to go through what were the good aspects and go through the bad aspects of the Zeitgeist movement in the past, and think about, you know, like you're talking to Zuko or somebody else, not necessarily me per se as well.
Okay, I'll do my best. I'm going to treat this as you requested out of me. The good aspects were working together with the people that I got to work with. I mean, a lot of people that are still active right now were people that and I don't mean this in any arrogant way or something, but they're people that I handpicked to help with the global efforts. And I'm so happy that they're still around. They're still doing the things that, you know, aren't necessarily their job or something, you know. They're still doing it. They're still performing tasks, answering emails, answering the Facebook, responding on social media, something that nobody could ask from them, because it's, you know, it's a voluntary job. Things that went bad, I guess that's a more interesting topic to talk about. A lot went wrong, and I guess that's partially ascribed to the chaotic situation that we were in. So I guess one of the most, when you mentioned Zuko, I mean, one of the most important things I guess that we should highlight in the history of the movement is the RBO's SE issues that we have. I guess that was one of the most difficult episodes in the movement, because I guess the people that were around also knew that there were a lot of well-intentioned people being involved with that. But then you get documents, straight documents, that say, okay, well, the intention is just to override the movement, which is not the whole representation of the RBOC movement. But you have to pool, or you have to organize something, and you have to make a decision. And then you have to consider the movement as a whole. And I guess, yes, it's easy to say, okay, well, then maybe you should have done a bit more digging into the RBOC's movement, or done anything else. But we're all volunteers here, you know. We have to make a decision, just as administration on the Discord has to make a decision based on things being said. it's not so easy to make such a decision. So with the information that we had at that time, and asking about things that didn't go as well as I think they could have been, I would ascribe this situation as a situation that could have been handled better, also from my perspective. But I still think that in the end we made the right decision for the situation that was happening at that time.
Yeah, and I can kind of speak on behalf of, like I was involved with RBOC. So okay, so just for my audience, what little audience, the 4 people that are viewing, three of which are here, I would say, in the potential audience maybe, but yeah, they, like, RBOC was a split off group from the Zeitgeist movement, and they were Zeitgeist movement members for the most part, I believe, except for me, but they were people that were developers, and it was composite of developers who split off and wanted to form their own group called RBOSC. And there was a lot of controversy when they actually split off, basically, and I was involved in that. And I would say that maybe I had proposed the idea to do the split because I had worked with open source projects before, and I had whenever there was a disagreement, you would see projects fork it, basically, as they would say. So I told kind of Callie this, and then I explained it to Lucas. Lucas were people within the RBOC. RBOC, by the way, and this is a lot of shit. I'm sorry for my audience for not understanding this. Is research-based open source environment, something like that. I think they changed the acronym at some point, but that's what I remember it as. And they had different ideological differences between the Zeitgeist movement, is how I would say. I wouldn't say that I agreed everything with the Zeitgeist movement, but still I said I wouldn't agree with anything with RBOSC. I did not agree with a lot of the, and from myself speaking, agree with a lot of what was happening with like the Zeitgeist movement, and it seemed like a lot of my issues were with this guy called Tank Top, No Hunter, basically having a lot of control over the access of the database of the Zeitgeist movement, where people were not could easily enter information and have access to that particular database. And it was just constant. It wasn't just me. It was constant contention with everyone within the development team, and there was also stuff where it was our interpretation during that time. There's a guy called Peter Joseph, and Gilbert, I would say, and call me out on this, I would say that Peter, like not everyone had access to Peter Joseph, but Peter Joseph would call the shots some of the time, not all the time. You were the person that was kind of the buffer between the TZM collective and Peter Joseph. Would you agree with that?
I mean, I understand where you're coming from.
Yeah.
Let me just collect my thoughts and make this as clear as possible.
All right.
Yes, I mean, yeah. Peter is a person just as anybody as you and I am, and I don't think that it's his preference to engage with people that much. I can tell you that the way that I came into the movement was with a conflict with Peter, because I didn't agree with the way that everything was conducted. But we found a middle ground. We agreed on things that needed to be changed. Yeah, you mentioned Noel Hunter.
Yes.
Noel is in no way, a part of the movement. He's an employee in that sense. That's also the only employee that we've ever had, aside from distributed tasks like specific project things that have been paid for. So, but Noel has been, and that's not a mystery. Noel has been one of the guys that have been part of the paid structure, if you will.
Yeah, just to note, he's also, and this is kind of relevant, he's also a personal friend of Peter Joseph as well. I mean, that's...
Yes, he is.
We have to throw it in there.
Yeah.
I mean...
No, but that's fine. I told you, be as brutal and be as honest as you want, because there's nothing to deny, and that's fine. Yes, that's true. But there's also, you can't blame Peter for what he has done. In the end, and this is his disposition, but we can have a discussion about it if you want to.
Yeah, well, I wanted to understand your dynamic with Peter Joseph, because it like from the RBOSC perspective, and I know this is like, we're just kind of rehashing really old shit, but the dynamic you had with Peter Joseph, the way that I've interpreted it, and I think a few other people, I can't speak on behalf of everyone else, but was that Peter, and it makes sense to me, I'm not saying you're doing anything bad, but the interpretation of me is that Peter was making movies and, being an artist and all this other stuff, and you were trying to lessen the work and problems that Peter would have to deal with if you didn't exist in your particular position. Is that kind of like a correct assumption? Is that not correct?
That is a description. I'm not saying it's inaccurate. I'm just saying.
Okay.
Maybe that's simplifying it a bit too much. Like, Peter is Peter. He does what he does best. I did my best in a different way to at least provide some sort of structure to the movement, without saying that I'm qualified to do that. And I do respect that people would ask myself, are you qualified to do it? I would say no, I'm not. I mean, I'm just as much as a volunteer as everybody else, but I did do it, and I will still continue to do it because I know that I can do it. I don't feel powerless. The one thing that makes me really mad is when people are here talking about how powerless they are to change things, which is absolutely untrue. They could, if they only push forward and do it.
Interesting. Could we explore that more about people who feel powerless? Have you experienced that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I have.
What do they say? Oh, go ahead. I don't know.
Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Did you want to?
I was just gonna say, what did they say when you interpret something as being powerless? What did they say specifically? What are they powerless in?
Yeah, we could just touch on a very common subject, like, okay, well, the global website doesn't function the way it should be. We should change this or that, but yeah, we can't do it because we don't have access, and that's where the conversation ends. Without asking, how can we get the access? What would we need to do in order to change it? And if we are serious about it, shouldn't we just push forward with it? And I think that the people here or in the movement that are left.
No matter, we can pick up where we left off. I can mesh the two streams together.
Yeah, I guess that the after watches will be more important as well than the live watches at the moment. So
let me see something real fast. Yeah, okay. It just picked. It just started a new stream, which is fine. I don't mind. Either that, I'm getting DOSed, which is a very possibility within the audience that I have. So, and anyways, I'll take that. One moment. Okay, yeah, we can pick up where we left off basically. So, and I'll just mesh the two streams together after this, which won't be hard. It's just more work. I'm lazy. I try to edit, like, to do zero amount of editing as possible with this shit. So with the Zeitgeist movement, I forget, where did we leave off at? It was somewhere with
Well, we were talking a little bit about the RBOSE and then about access, and we kind of just
that's fine.
Let's just find a new way to open the conversation.
Okay, yeah, no problem.
Be brutal.
Brutal.
I told
brutal.
you, brutal.
All right, so with RBOSC, like that was a group that I was kind of a part of with. I'll dab a little on that. I don't think it's so relevant, but with that, we were talking about, anyways, we were talking about the dynamic between you and Peter Joseph, but I think we'll talk about RBOSC. With RBOSC, it was interesting that the split had occurred, and naturally, like, people were upset, I believe, on the Zeitgeist side. And I never really liked the fact that after literally a year that RBOSC was away from TZM, TZM was literally still talking about us and all this other stuff. I never got why they couldn't move on from that and do their own thing. It just seemed like somehow they would read our chat logs or something else and try to suck us back in some capacity to all the drama, basically. And I wish, and I don't think that was instituted by you, but there were certain people that were instituting it that I did not appreciate, because you at the time were saying, look, don't, which is fine, don't collaborate, don't do this, don't go back, don't talk about them. You were telling everybody to be quiet and just pretend they don't exist. And that's what we wanted. That would be the best case scenario of what we wanted, but it never truly happened. And I've always had kind of a problem with that, because we were trying to be productive and do our work and all this other stuff, and it just seemed, an onslaught of attack, and, oh, look what they're doing, look at their IRC chat logs. I would never do that. I mean, I myself would never take the time to go to, because we had the IRC, for the chat, IRC Internet Relay Chat. IRC is just an oral form way of chatting, and long story short, we would archive our chat room basically publicly for everyone to access on an internet site. So we had a search widget where people would be able to search information of what we said on there. And so people would search things of what I said or what Lucas would say or DNS, or it was made for us and people for our stuff. But it seemed to be that the Zeitgeist movement, the members on there, some of them would use it to use that information against us, basically, in some capacity. And I'm just like, I don't know. Just kind of do your own thing, leave us out of it, basically. And also I didn't agree with, like Platinum Satire, basically, Grits, that you know him at some capacity at one point in time. This is old shit, but that guy, I never had any real problems with the guy. Would I say that he's a guy that is going to be the most exemplary member of any group? Probably not. But yo, Tony V's, hey, okay, I'm sorry, I have to give a shout out to Tony's. This is going to seem very weird to you, Gilbert. Yo, Tony V's says, seems I've missed the intro. Oh, man, hey, man, don't worry. I guess this is a split podcast now because we went down for a little bit and then came back up. But, hey, man, I miss you, man. Tone of Ease, just to break you in, it's we're talking about the Zeitgeist movement. We're doing something not public IRL stream related. I may get back to public IRL streaming, but this is currently what I'm involved in, so I'm gonna talk about and bring people in if I can about shit that I'm involved with. So, that's just what we're talking about right now. And anyways, back to this. This is so autistic for me. Tony East is one of my mods. He's a great person, by the way. But I have to say that with the RBOSC type of situation, there was issues with Platinum Satire, and there was an issue of him making sock puppet accounts, and I've always looked at that as an individual type of thing. Okay, so whenever someone goes onto a communication medium and they're doing shit and all this other like that's the individual. To me, it was very weird how they would associate that like that individual to an organization, and I can appreciate a perspective that that guy. I don't believe Planet Satire was ever really a part of the Zeitgeist movement per se in any way, shape, or form. And to say that he was a band member from TZM and then this troll is allowed to facilitate, it's very weird. So if Planet, I'm not asking you a question, but I'm just saying it's very weird that you would disassociate from RBOC because we harbor trolls, including myself, by the way, that you would ban an entire organization because of a few bad eggs, essentially, that you would define. And I never really agreed with that. What if these people, would you do that for, I don't know, a gas station? Because that person goes to a BP, for example, that person has been banned off your movement, so no one can go to any of those gas station chains. It just, to me, from the wider picture, it didn't make any sense to me to ban RBOSC, or to allow people to collaborate with RBOSC too. I remember there's a guy called Zook. Do you remember Zook at all, Gilbert?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah,
I'm also willing to answer what you've just mentioned.
Oh, go ahead. Yeah, cut me off. Absolutely. Go. No, I mean not cut me off, but interject right now about what you thought about what I said.
Yeah, as I've mentioned before, it's just been very difficult. I definitely agree with you that there was a lot of good stuff coming out of RBOSC, and I think there were a lot of members also from the Zeitgeist movement, but also involved with RBOSC that had the right intentions. They wanted to do the right thing, or were involved with what we're all involved with, which is working for a better world. But it was just too confusing and was not transparent to the rest of the movement, which put us as administration in a very difficult position, because people were coming forward with documents we can discuss this if you want, just put it out in open.
Yeah, sure, man. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, go ahead, man.
There were members of RBOSE that claimed that they would want to, change the movement as it is, which is not a bad thing. That's anybody's right, but it was very aggressive in a way, as I put myself forward sometimes, that level of aggressive. So I guess we had to do something with it, and it just wasn't good. Yeah, and that's where everything transgressed from, because we didn't know what to do with it. We didn't want to, shut people out, but at the same time, our active chapters and active administration asked us to do something with it, and that's where the decision came from.
Okay, yeah, and I've said this to you. I appreciate that you make a decision, and I will never I don't agree with the decision, but I'm glad that you made one, and you were right to make that decision. Wrong or right, you were right to make it, basically. Because somebody's got to make that decision, and you were in a particular position where maybe at the time you didn't realize that you may not be the most likable guy in that position, basically. Because I'm sure you're a guy that I can have a beer with at a bar. You know what I mean? And just kind of chill with. But I personally, and I've said this to you before, I never thought you were good at that position, basically. I thought you were the wrong man for the job. I thought someone else could do that job. And that's what I told you. Be brutal with me. Just say whatever you think, and I think that's the right way to go about it, because I have my response. Okay, that's fair. But who else stood up? Nobody did. There has been people
No, but I have to be fair. There have been people that have wanted to, but they didn't have the right, intention to actually affect what they proposed. They did say, okay, well, maybe I could do something, but they didn't do it. So I am honest to myself, like, okay, if you say I wasn't the right person to do it, I will say I agree with you, because there is no institution that will teach you how to be an responsible member of an activism organization. You can only learn by experience. And that's what I did. And there have been people that have been running their mouth, but they can't do anything because they won't. And and that's why I can sometimes come across really wrong, but they won't do it. So I've said I've been gone from the movement for 3 years. In these 3 years, there's nobody else that's stood up and done the same thing. So my point is what it is, as it always has been. People run their mouth, but they don't stand up for what they want to achieve.
Yeah, and that's something that I can appreciate about anybody that wants to that is ambitious and wants to do shit, because most people don't. Those people, not just within TZM, most people are not like self-starters or anything else, and you took the initiative to go and do things, and I can really appreciate a guy like that. I always want a guy like that, but I still, at the end of the day, I still feel this way, that you've had your chance. You've had 6 years or something? How long? I don't know how long you quit, but 3 years away. Yeah, I would say like 6 or 7 years to do your job. To make the Zeitgeist movement successful and all that other stuff, and it never came to fruition. Basically, that I had said when RBOSE split, I had said, that, and it's not just you, okay? It's not just you, but it's that top tier within Zeitgeist. Jen Wilding, fuck it, Tank Top. During the time we got like VTV, a wonderful guy. All those people, I'm probably missing a few people here and there, but that top tier echelon within the Zeitgeist movement were the wrong people, basically. And usually, in my experience with open source projects, when you get those people on the top side, there's nothing you can do. There's no amount of change you can do until those people go away. And as of recently, all those people went away, including yourself. And I feel that now, this particular Discord, at least, like from what I'm gathering and talking from people here and there, it looks like there's kind of a new guard kind of coming up. And I think that is going to make, like, that potentially could start something new within the Zeitgeist movement. And I was... because, I don't want to get too confusing here, and so I feel like there's kind of a real change going on here, and without the old guard, basically, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, but I find it very, very interesting to talk about that, because, I'm not saying you're not making good points, because you are, but I think that it would be the right question to ask, like, why did it happen the way that it did?
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. Why did it happen?
I can't expect anything from you, but the situation that we were dealing with in that time span was way different from things that are happening now. There was a lot more confusion, not between movement members, but definitely between people that are interested in the movement. And this is what we had to deal with on a daily basis, and that just took the focus away from focusing on activism, focusing on organization. We knew that was happening. So I understand your point as well, but it was just a whole different era, and coming back to the movement now, which is good. And I'm glad, that it survived in the way it did. But it is a situation that we've created by being resolute in the way that we've been. So yeah, it's I don't know. It's difficult to I'm yeah.
What so when did you leave the movement? What year exactly, or like 2016, 2017, something like that?
I've never really left the movement.
Or
I've
not
always
not active, I guess. Like not as active, I suppose, is a better way to put it.
Yeah, but I mean that also needs to be taken with moderation. I mean, the Z days have always been a concern of mine. Even with the Australia chapter Z Day, I took the initiative to organize that from the background. Like maybe not with the most involvement. I mean, of course, Australia did a lot of things they did themselves, but I've always supervised it and made sure that it was okay, and that when I felt okay, I just let it go. Of course, you can't control everything, and you don't have to control everything. But I've always taken my responsibility in that. So the Global Z Days, that's something that I've always done. And even when I was away from the movement, the people that I've selected for my teams in the course of the years, those are the people to take care of all the Z days and stuff like that. So, I mean, I understand it might seem a bit arrogant to say it that way, but it's just the truth. These are the people that are taking care of the things that concern the movement. So, I mean, I must have not been wrong somewhere.
Okay, so you were not. So you're saying you were not completely inactive for 3 years?
No. I've not been completely inactive, but I had to take a major step back due to health issues, personal issues. So yeah, I couldn't affect the same thing that I could do when I was, for example, more involved when I was a student, and just doing everything that I could. So that's a difference. I understand that, but there was never a moment that I was really away, aside from maybe the last year. But I mean, in all respect to my team, to the people that are part of my team, to the people that are still being referred to as the people that are doing stuff global, I haven't been able to be as much as a support that I would like to be. And I mean, that's quite a concern for me as well. I mean, they deserved more.
Okay. So, I'm kind of curious. How did you come across this particular Discord?
I've been notified about it.
Okay. So someone told you about it, and you hopped in, and what were you expecting when you hopped? Like, did you have any expectations, or you thought it was another Zeitgeist official medium, or what was going on in your head?
Well, because I do play games, as I told you, as in a computer game.
Yeah.
I knew the medium, so I knew what it was capable of, and I was quite impressed to see that we had built a Zeitgeist community on this medium. So my initial intent was to see what was going on. So I watched for a few weeks before I made myself known, and then I got into contact with the admins that are currently in place, and I just said, look, I'm happy with what you're doing, but I think we can do a lot more if we work together. And in that capacity, I would, propose that we share keys in the same in the sense that I did specifically request for admin just because of that's the way I work. I don't work without limited access because I'm a volunteer like everybody else, and I know what I can do. At the same time, I still have all the other keys to all the other media, so it would not make sense to not acknowledge that. And I told the current administration as well, like, look, if we just can share and trust each other, there will not be a problem, which we can just move forward. We don't have to focus on that. At the same time, when I see the responses being given, it worries me so much in the sense that there's so much focus on what anybody says. Fine, okay, then don't be okay with what I say. I just sense like, if this is the 10% of the movement that we have to focus on in order to change something, I don't know. That seems like a lost cause,
Okay. So, my experience with like this is like, okay, so people in the chat, I got pulled kind of back into the Zeitgeist movement because I've been, before I was doing public IRL streaming, commentary bullshit, I was doing skeptic bullshit, and I had archived, a lot of Zeitgeist movement history on the skepticproject.com website, which is considered an anti-Zeitgeist movement website, basically, in some capacity, at least by Peter Joseph. So what was interesting is, someone had contacted me and told me to come in here, and they kind of vaguely suggested, that, to show them some things on the Skeptic Project site. And little did I know, I saw Gilbert, and I'm like, oh shit, there's Gilbert, he's probably gonna start some shit or something, who knows. Let's see how long I last before I get banned. But I went and I've had pleasant conversation with you, Gilbert. Okay, like seriously, I've had really pleasant. I don't agree with everything you say, but we've had a very peaceful, whatever, like, a good conversation, a good discourse with each other, good rapport. And I, was talking to other people, and they were saying shit about you, Gilbert. So you had, and I know we've talked about it, but the audience doesn't know, that you have said some stuff in here that you, that I would deem like not horrendous stuff, but just some pretty weird shit, basically, some bad shit, basically, in this Discord. That I would not appreciate if I was in a minute of this Discord, and obviously the admins and mods of this particular Discord within the Zeitgeist Movement Discord don't appreciate. Go ahead, man.
I could only expect this subject to be raised, so
yeah,
I was prepared for it.
And can I mention some of them? Can I I was gonna talk about
of course.
So just for the audience, basically, one of the things is, okay, so Gilbert was away from, and I'm not trying to start shit, but this is what happened. Like, this is my interpretation. Is Gilbert was away for 3 years from the Zeitgeist movement, and he was in a top tier position. Okay, he's been away for 3 years. He comes back to this particular Discord and demands that he gets admin privileges, basically. And that was like to me, like, when you've been away for 3 years or been in, like, pretty much like not as active as what you were before, you don't deserve those privileges, again, in my opinion. The other aspect is that apparently there was an international meeting, and long story short, you basically said that if you don't get the privileges that you deserve, that you are going to take and make sure that this is disconnected from the main Zeitgeist movement collective, basically. And you said that you have all the keys to everything, basically, and you will make sure that this place does not see the light of day within the mainstream of the Zeitgeist movement. Just keep in mind, like, audience, like, this Zeitgeist movement Discord, I don't know exactly where it fits into the chain of things, so maybe Gilbert can kind of fill us in on that, but as to what it is, but because I've only been introduced to this the past few days, but to me, the shit you said in this Discord is doesn't seem to me to be very productive behavior. At that, like, even if you were nice, like, trying to request admin privileges from when you've not really earned those rights is kind of bullshit to me. I mean, what, like...
Yeah, no, but that's what I asked you from the first moment. Be brutal. Ask the most sensitive questions.
Like my audience, I gotta explain to my audience what's going on. This is complicated.
That's fine, that's fine. Okay. Sorry, I hope that the audience understands now.
It's
okay,
hard.
that's fine.
Go ahead, man.
Yes, of course. And I mean, I understood as well when I went into the conversation that way, that it would not seem nice and it would not give me it wouldn't make me a better person in the view of other people. Of course, I understand that. At the same time, I did ask questions, and I hope I highlighted some of the concerns that I have, because you have to understand that the Zeitgeist movement is not this Discord. This is a part of it, but it's not the whole Zeitgeist movement. People are concerned with the direction.
I didn't understand that, so okay, go ahead though.
No, okay, that's fine. But I mean, it is a responsibility of anybody in an administrative role to understand that as well. This is not the Zeitgeist movement, it's a part of it. And people need to take responsibility, need to communicate with other factions within the movement, if we would want to call them factions, because we could easily unify them. To unify them, you need to be straightforward, you need to know your shit. And that's just the problem. The people don't know their shit. And I see communication here coming and going along that does not live up to the standards that we would want from official media, which is why I say that the Discord is not official media. I'm sorry to say it, it's just the truth. It just does not live up to the expectation, and I can support that with factual information. So yeah, where do we go from there? We talk to each other.
Yeah, like what's like, how is something deemed like official media though? Like, okay, so just so my audience gets, I'm a little away, I'm chilling out now, but just so my audience understands, like, apparently this Zeitgeist movement Discord that we're in is not official Zeitgeist movement, is what Gilbert is saying.
Yeah, it's not.
Yeah.
But it could be. But that would be a consensual agreement between different parties within the movement at the moment.
Okay.
And that's just how it is. There is no official decision-making structure, so I can also say that. It's very weird to say it that way, but I guess it's the right way to do it.
Okay, so like, you're not exactly sure who makes something official and who makes something not official.
No, I mean, okay. we could make up everything, but let's just be honest. Nobody, including the people that are currently involved with the administration, they don't know shit either. So
Okay.
Yeah. I mean,
Well, it
we talk-
sounds like you're saying the official Zeitgeist movement, like, you don't, like, they don't really know shit, but this Discord certainly doesn't know shit, basically, as well. So no one, like, from what I'm getting, no one knows shit.
Well, let's not push it to the negative. I
Okay.
would say, as I said before, that the people involved in the Discord, they mean well. They have the right intention, and what I've seen, I find commendable and impressive. I think that every insinuation, every proposition is being reviewed with objectivity that I could not produce myself. So I guess that's right. If we're talking about information, though, no. There's not the right level of quality of information, and that's easy to show.
So how,
difficult?
like, I definitely think I understand your perspective and your side of things. And you understand. I'm not just speaking on behalf of myself. I'm going to try to, like, attempted to speak on behalf of, like, other people I've talked to in this Discord. But how do you think that this Discord can get into the right direction? What do you think are the steps that need to be made, that you want to try to make?
I think we need to assess the quality requirements. So I think that people involved in the Discord need to be at least informed of how they can refer people to the right information channels. That's the first step. I guess we need to make arrangements between ourselves, meaning me, whoever else wants to be active on that front, and the current administration, on how we handle things. I think as well, my team and I are still managing the global email accounts. I think it's time now to share that a little bit, to have other people have their influence there as well. I'm willing to open up, but I'm not going to do it in a situation where I'm already being discounted just because I have to prove myself to people. I mean, it enrages me, and of course that's an ego thing, and I understand that, but I don't have to prove myself to these people.
I mean, it's good. It's good to have an ego, because ego is ambition. It is confidence. That's where you get it from. And I don't want anyone to lose that, including yourself. Gilbert, I want to see you succeed, basically. Okay, so I want to see everybody succeed in whatever they want to do. So I don't want to be a hindrance here or anything like that. But I think that the approach that you are taking with it is probably bad. I think there's still people who have a bad taste in their mouth with what not just you, but the previous administration of TZM was doing. Most of that shit is gone. And now they have a bad taste of how you're interacting in Discord and chat with people, that you need to develop a rapport. You need to start from ground zero. That's my opinion. And I can appreciate someone that has an ego, because I don't want you to defang yourself, okay? That's just me. But I think that you, I'm not telling you what to do. I don't know what you need to do, to be honest. But I think that being a bit more humble, a little bit, and starting from ground zero, going into the trenches basically is where you need to start. And then if you develop rapport within this Discord and everything else, I think that's a really good step in the right direction to where you get privileges and what you need to get done, basically.
I understand your opinion there, and that's why I said just be as brutal as you can towards me, because I definitely do not agree with that.
Okay.
I don't think I have anything to explain or to prove to any current administration, which will not get anything done. I mean, that's where we are at a disparity. And I also said, okay, we can look beyond that, because it doesn't matter who administrates what right now. It's what we do in the future. And I could be away for 3 years. In the meanwhile, nothing's been done. Nothing comparable has been done. I'm just being as honest as I can and say, okay, I understand it's really confusing how I present myself. So let's just be as clear as we can. We're going to do stuff and we're going to have results. So that's the only thing that I can do to be clear, you know. And there's nobody with current administration rights that can do the same thing. They can't. They don't have the same capacity. So all right, let's do it. We'll do that. But I am mad. I'm still mad. I'm not done with the discussion. I've said that publicly.
Yeah, Gilbert, I think that's bullshit. Okay, like that's total bullshit. Like, you can't, and I understand, like, you know, I respect where we're coming from, but because you're really honest. I do appreciate people who are fucking honest, but I'm not I don't always like to, I don't like to be bluntly honest with people, to be honest. Like, but in this case, like,
you can be with me, absolutely.
Oh well, no,
Go for it.
Because I could be wrong. Okay, and I like to observe and watch people. And when I do these public IRL streams, I have to shoot from the hip a lot of the time. So then I have to be bluntly honest. But when someone's chatting with me and stuff, I don't know who they are. You know, I kind of know who you are. I've experienced you for, you know, at least a week or so, or a few days. I think it's total bullshit what you said. I think that if you continue to go that route, I do not think you will be successful in what you're trying to achieve, and I think that it's going to be a detriment to yourself. And I think other people have been kind of telling you that, but you've not been listening to them, and I really think that you don't have to listen to them. I think you should consider them, and if you don't agree with that, I think okay. And I'll give you an example of me, but I think that you need to pretend like let's just say for a day, just step back for a minute and be like, I'm gonna pretend, okay, to say that these guys are right, and give it a day at least, and come in and say maybe these guys are right, but maybe, you know, like I pretended, for example, that because I had a weird thing where, you know, I always believe that we had free will to some extent, right? You know, as far as you can move your fist from your chin. But you know, maybe we don't have free will. Maybe everything is predetermined, right? That like not by God or anything of that sake, but maybe, you know, when you're born, you know, you're a certain height, a certain color, a certain eye color at least. You got brown hairs and things of that nature. So I kind of like considered the idea, in a way, kind of like adopting that everything was predetermined. And I kind of agree with that notion. I think, for example, and not to go off topic, but I probably will, that religion, it's kind of a duality where people want to believe that everything is predetermined, but in my opinion, the wrong way, because they believe God is predestined to control like everyone's destiny, basically. But simultaneously, they don't read the Bible. They don't do all these other steps. They get an interpretation from a Bible by a pastor who, you know, that Bible book itself is an interpretation, you know, translated over from Hebrew and shit. So, but I think people like to live in a duality in religion, because they like things to be predetermined, but they also like things to be free will as well, that anything could really happen. You can be anything you want, etc., so on. But anyways, what I'm saying is, and I've honestly considered the idea of kind of a predeterminist perspective, that things are not necessarily, we are not necessarily totally free will, that you know, you're stuck with your height, for example. But I think for you, if you just consider the idea, even if you don't agree with it, just consider the idea for a day or something, that, you know, that maybe you should work up from the ranks again, okay? Like a grunt, is what I'd say. There's nothing wrong being a grunt, man. There's a lot of cool shit being a grunt. There's a lot of shit that, you know, being on the low, there's a lot of benefits. You don't get that much heat if shit goes wrong. People aren't bothering you as much. There's a lot of benefits to it, as opposed to being on that top structure again. And I think it's bullshit that you come in here after 3 years of, from what everyone's saying is being an active. You said you're active, and I believe you. I have no reason not to believe you. But to come in after 3 years and demand to be an administrative or some type of privilege, I don't know what that would be, but it's kind of bullshit. And then to say, you know, I developed this structure, etc., so on. That's just like, no, you gotta like earn your way back, and then you have to maintain that as well. And that's just what I believe. But I certainly respect what you have to say, but it's bullshit, man. And I think that behavior that you're doing right now is not going to be successful, and
what you're saying, it's not conducive.
If you do succeed in this in any capacity, I guarantee you that this Discord, the people in it are going to fucking leave. I guarantee you that.
I told you to be brutal, so say whatever you need to say.
Well, I'm starting up really now. I got that.
Yeah.
sorry about that, but I'm not just talking on behalf of myself. I'm talking. This is a composite of like everybody that I've talked to in this Discord so far. So
yeah, but I have to put a different contrast. But I do appreciate what you just said, because I do not disagree with that. But I have to say that everybody's asking me all questions, but any question that I put forward is being, you know, ignored. As I said, I understand. Okay, no problem. We have a, you know, a Discord. We have administration. What are the qualifications for the administration? Nobody will answer this to me. Nobody will talk about it in public. Nobody will. And I know that because I understand the situation. I've seen it all before. So, you know, that's even more funny than what you just pointed out.
Okay. What was funny with what I just pointed out? What was funny to you?
Well, I mean, I guess focusing on the coordination aspects of it, because I understand that, you know, like it's just fucked up. I mean,
I'm trying to be serious. I'm not trying to be funny. So
no. Okay.
Funny.
I mean, if I can take something particular, where would the position? I understand what you said with me coming back after 3 years, which is not really the truth, because I've been there in the background. But just taking that as a position, no, I don't think it's okay to have people here dictate things in the way that they have. And you know, I would be okay with it if there was some sort of direction, but there definitely isn't, and that's explainable, and you know, and that's a real concern for me.
So But before I answer more stuff on this, Woodpecker, if you're DMing me, I can't read the DMs until after this is done. It'll just fuck up the chat on screen. I don't know if you guys can see, but I have the just to see our voices go. It's not that much information, but you can see mine, Gilbert, and Woodpecker. If you were to speak, you would see your voice go up and down, basically. But what is your current assessment of the administration from administrators of this Discord to the moderators of this Discord? What is your current assessment of this Discord?
Yeah, that's a fair question. Okay. I think that most of them are very well intentioned, and I mean that in the sense that if you think objectively, when they have to have an opinion about a situation, that their assessment is very factual and logical, and that's really great. I also think they don't have anything to bring into moving the movement forward, and that's a shame. And I think, and I also underscribed that in my document, that there needs to be harmony in that.
Oh, you had a document?
Yes.
What was that document containing?
I can post it for you if you want.
Yeah. I can read it if you post it, so I don't mind doing that.
Yeah, go for it.
Let's see.
It's not short, I can tell you that.
Oh, hell yeah. I like them long.
Oh, I just wanted to let you know that sometimes when Gilbert speaks, I can hear echo through your mic.
Oh, I'm sorry. Is that my issue?
No, that's my issue.
Know.
It's probably
okay.
on YouTube, huh?
It's probably because you use the speakers by the sounds of things.
Let me turn the gain down on this. I hate putting on my headset. That's the only reason.
You and me both.
I bought $20 headsets basically, and I should have invested in $100-some, but I just want the cool microphone. I have an Audio Technica 2035, and just wanted something cool, and then I ended up putting it to use. But I'm on the document right now, boys and girls. Oh wow, this is long, dude.
I'm sorry.
No, yeah, it's fine. I'll read it.
It was requested of me, so okay.
That's fine. Yeah, do whatever they request. Who did you send this to the mods and mins and of this server, or to
no?
Peter?
There's no entity here that I recognize as being in charge or something. So this is just open to the community.
Oh, okay. I'm going to read some of this. I'll just read stuff I think is kind of pertinent. If you want to talk or elaborate more, you're more than welcome. Reinforcing TZM, April 18, 2019, Gilbert Ismail, TZM Global Volunteer. Let me blow this up because I don't have the best eyesight anymore.
Be brutal. Go for it.
I'm just going to read it and see what's going on. The reason to write this document is in concern for outgoing development of the movement. It seems to me that the sub-communities do well and stay alive, but at all time there is a fractured whole. I believe that if we unite these parts of the movement, we will continue strong than before. Let me go down. Let's see. All right. Give all the experiences we all had over the years, we do not need to work with a plan of action. In my experience leading the administrative part of the movement, I have picked up a lot of problems and situations which were not always easy to deal with. I will not say every decision has the right one, but it was made out of the right intent for the structure that was placed then. Let's see, go down. Okay. We have surpassed the need for a top-down structure, but we have not surpassed the need for direction and people to help unify the movement. I'm going to stop right there. You said we surpassed the need for top-down structure? So did the Zeitgeist movement had a top-down structure before?
Yes, it had.
Okay,
Clearly,
okay.
we had the GCA, so that's not a question. I guess everybody understands that.
Yeah, and like the reason I asked is Peter has always said that it's a leaderless movement, so
Yeah,
he may have been confused.
yeah. I guess that causes more confusion than it should, because I think that most of the people understood that we had a leadership structure in the movement as well.
So,
I guess, yeah.
well, I'm kind of curious. So if you're kind of suggesting that you don't actually want a top-down structure per se currently, you don't think?
Not anymore, no.
Okay.
But
why
I
is that?
think that it was right in the past.
Okay. Okay.
Because I think that the people right now are more focused, and it doesn't require that anymore. You know, like when you feel more okay with the people that you're working with, then you don't feel that same necessity, maybe.
Okay.
If you will, yeah. I mean, it's good. I'm great and happy about the people that are working with us right now.
Reading that right there, kind of. I'm gonna say this again. I don't like. It kind of was like, whoa, you know, like I agree with that, but having like you're gonna have some type of structure. You're gonna have some type of leaders, or am I crazy in that? Do you? Right or like
it's not up to me. I mean, it's
Okay.
up to the people that are currently involved.
Okay. I didn't know. I was just kind of curious. I'll kind of read on. I was just I was a bit surprised.
I can tell you that the people right now are confused whether we do or not, and that's a bad thing as well. I can tell people here involved in this Discord don't even know what the current structure of the movement is, which is a grave concern to me.
Okay. Reading on, man, our official media, let's see, and then it says in quotation or whatever, answer emails, Facebook messages, Twitter, and post videos on our YouTube. It is also my belief that Discord could be an important part of the infrastructure, but remains isolated as part of the larger structure. I want to move towards unification and suggest direction, sharing responsibilities, and uniting communities. One of the issues we had in the past was that we had very chaotic environment. There was a lot of misunderstanding about the train of thought, and this took away from the actual activism activities. My belief is that now the people that are around mostly are of the right focus and what to change things. There we go. We must unite the remaining communities for it to work effectively. We cannot sit and complain about the main website, for example. If there is an issue, we must solve it. Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, but I'm very clear in my intent. Like, you can talk with everybody here involved. They will complain about issues, but they will not solve it. I will solve it within a fortnight. So that's the difference between me and the people that are involved here. They won't get shit solved. I will get shit solved.
Oh, okay. So how you gonna solve shit? What are you gonna do?
Based on the trust and the links that I have, listening to people and actually going forward on that information, you know, it's just a defeatist attitude that people take. Okay, well, we know that something is not right, so we'll just complain about it, and then we'll complain and don't do shit. And I totally hate that attitude, because and I would have hoped that the people in this movement would have understood that's just not what we are about. You know, you see a problem, do something about it, do something concrete about it. and I can't respect people that don't do that. So everybody that didn't do that, they're beyond, what I can respect.
Okay, I mean, I don't know what people do here.
Well, obviously not so much. So that's okay, and and then I'm okay with making an ass of myself because people just don't believe in themselves. It's okay, fine. If that's your disposition, no problem. I'll show them the right way.
Reading on, but we have to do this one step at a time. I propose by starting to take a one global website issue, we fix this issue within the fastest time span that we can. I will unconditionally provide all support from this first leg. We need to wake up to the reality that by passively talking about it, the change will not come. We must accept the use of people that act as facilitators. I believe we have the ability to self-moderate to see if they are doing well. But also believe people should be able to demonstrate they can take us forward. Going down. That's nice to say. I agree. I will, with the help of a few others, do the best to get other existing members over to participate here. Getting over the rest of TZM Global and the linguistics team is priority. Okay, do you want to unify the linguistics team again?
Absolutely. I mean, I guess the linguistics team is one of the most solid teams that we've had over the course of time, and their contributions are so valuable, so
Yeah.
why would we not?
Like, would there still be an issue with G-Man, or not G-Man, but like, there's never an issue with G-Man, but like the linguistics team is, I think they're exclusively working for the Venus Project right now. I don't think they're doing any TZM stuff. I don't know if you realize that or not. I mean, I took a quick look on the linguistics team. The majority of their stuff is about the Venus projects. Would there be an issue with the Venus like them working on the Venus project as well? I mean, that might be a conflict of issues. I don't know.
For me, that's a fair question, though. No, I wouldn't have any problem with that. I mean, the Venus project is the Venus project, and I don't think anybody in the organization of the Zeitgeist movement has ever had a problem with the Venus project. It just became a very nasty situation in the way that it did. Yeah, but I think we could just make really good arrangements with the linguistics team and just see where we can go from them. And I have nothing against them helping the Venus project translate certain project. That's fine. I mean, that's up to the people translating. That's okay.
Yeah, I mean, Peter had kind of like, he had issues with that, and also the Venus project had some issues with that too. Like, for example, if the linguistics team gets unified, I'm just saying hypothetically gets inducted into the TZM thing again, like, they may have a conflict with people like within the linguistics team that are representing TZM and misrepresenting the Venus Project message, and that's what happened last time, right? Just for the audience to know, the Zeitgeist movement was advertising this project called the Venus Project. The Venus Project is this compound in Venus, Florida, where it's a futuristic thing made by Jacques Fresco, and they were advocating it. So what they would used to say is the Zeitgeist movement is the long arm of the Venus Project. Something of that nature is something I heard people say a few times. So I think, like, just kind of a brief thing, like, do you like, there's gonna, like, obviously see there's gonna be some landmines here if you try to suck in the linguistics team. The Venus Project, like, is going to have some conflict of interest for people, like, that are on that particular team. But, and it would I foresee there's going to be problems with getting a unification, getting those people back into the Zeitgeist movement, basically.
Yeah, but that's a correct assessment. I mean, yeah.
I know Ray. He is more for the Venus Project than the Zeitgeist movement. He's always been that way.
I wouldn't particularly say that. I mean, I have my own contacts with Ray that I have had over the year. But I can understand that many people, feel a bit. They can't really focus on one thing. Like they're not particularly for the Zeitgeist movement, or they're not particularly for the Venus Project, which is fine. I mean, in essence, the message is the same, but the organization is not the same, and that's what the whole problem is about. Yes, we've had our issues about that, and and that's publicly available, because that became a whole different discussion. It's just not nice. But at the same time, we do feel, I mean, at least I feel, and I think a lot of other people feel that are involved with the movement, that we did the right thing, because it was the right thing to go away from the Venus Project, because they wouldn't allow any room for us to say what we want. It was just my way or the highway, and that's not okay with anybody. I think now is a better time to talk about it again, and I'm willing to do that. But as I said, it's long way ahead, and we'll see how things go.
Okay, I was just kind of curious. Shout out to fucking Matt, dude. Matt saying, stop letting this idiot talk, basically. Listen to this, what? Jim is saying, I'm learning all kinds of good things today, like you should talk things out and be friends and shit. Thank you, Jim. I'm just reading the chat right now. I don't think so. I actually can appreciate a guy who writes this report out. He's also telling me not to go back into the Zeitgeist movement, so I thought that was hilarious. Matt, I'm sucked in, man. Okay, to read on. Shit, I probably lost my place. I need to stress that TZM Global is no longer an entity, rather a collection of people still performing tasks that were once assigned, ascribed to former members. Okay, and then you have like a list of things. The title of this list is called Current Issues with the Global Website. And then your first thing on the list is many links are outdated. These need to be corrected immediately. And if you want to stop me at any point, like you're more than welcome to stop me at any time. But in particular, this one, to elaborate more on it, you can do so. So, Gilbert, but we need to be able to direct people to activism directly. Discord could be a good landing page, as people are active and able to talk around the clock. Next point. Oh, go ahead.
Well, wait. Did you want to?
I was just gonna. Yeah. If you want to elaborate more, go ahead.
Well, I just meant what I meant there. Like,
okay.
Yeah. We need to have people that can answer people around the clock. That's just normal, I guess, in a global movement.
I can read Matt's stuff. Matt, come on, Matt. He's being a bit of a troll.
I'm not watching the chat.
Don't look at the chat right now, Matt. No, that's fine, man. I'm used to Matt is a Skeptic Project member, so or was not anymore though.
Well, I mean, if it's the Matt that I think, then okay, that's good.
Yeah, it's that Matt. It's that. Well, not Matthew Wagner. Not Matthew Wagner. Not from the Ohio chapter.
Okay, no, okay, that's the man that I meant. So.
Oh, okay, never mind then. Okay, got you. Okay, the next point. There is a confusion on who is able to access what. I intend to harmonize this to make this transparent, even arranging more access if more volunteers are necessary.
Absolutely, I'm
okay.
gonna be clear on that because it doesn't help anybody to be inconclusive on this part. Certain parts of the Zeitgeist movement are locked off for a good reason, and I can explain that reason if you want. Everybody can ask the question.
Absolutely.
But
what's the reason?
Okay, the reason is that it's just not simple to give everybody access to everything, which I guess everybody understands that you wouldn't just get every access, just as the same way that I won't get access at the moment, which doesn't matter. And just using it as an example, to the Discord, which is 10%, and I won't give everybody access to the other 90%. So okay, no problem.
Okay.
I think that's fair. Isn't that fair?
Okay,
you
Bob,
have to have a good reason.
Okay, Bob is being a real one right now. Bob, do you want me to call you Bob or Matt? I know you by Matt. Does it matter? But he's asking me a question. Why are you still making excuses for this fucking faggotry? That is a real one. No, it is not. That is spin. What?
Doesn't matter. Just
no. That's
put
for me.
in the question as the way it's put.
Yeah. That's for me at least. I believe that's. I'm not making excuses, man. I'm not a part of the Zeitgeist movement. I was considering joining back, but Matt, you convinced me. Oh, he's spinning? Matt, explain yourself by what do you mean by him spinning? Oh, Crichton Series 4000 said, okay, but what is the best lube you recommend? Bob, Matt, I don't know how to pronounce your name. Okay, Bob said, not you, Bill. God damn it. Here we go. I think I got that anger across. Okay, so he's asking you why are you spinning, basically, in what you're saying.
Could you elaborate on what he means by that? I mean, I'm not going to answer ridiculous questions, of course.
Okay.
If there's a basis to the question, then I will answer it.
Bob says he's sitting here saying that this faggotry is engaged in was somehow reasonable due to the layers of faggotry he accepted and contributed to.
Well, any question that
I can cut
those
out the
terms.
Yeah, I can cut out the faggotry's part. I mean, he's actually asking.
Yeah. Just make it concrete. I'm not going to answer that. That doesn't deserve an answer.
Okay,
from my
no
point
problem.
of perspective. So, yeah.
Bob says, "Fuck this guy." Then Cretan Series 4000 says, "This made perfect sense." I think. Okay. That's kind of my audience, though. I'm sorry, Gilbert, but I kind of told you beforehand.
It's fine. I told you I will answer it if it's a normal question.
I love my audience. No I like man a lot. Tone of Ease. Don't ban Bob Dobbs. He's a cool dude. Okay, I'm not gonna say that, but I'm gonna read on from there. I'm just gonna start reading everything he says. Okay, the next point. There are doubts on getting certain rights. I will help build a bridge here. Okay. Okay, that's fine. Okay, current issues with the Discord. The accuracy of the information is not up to standard. A practical example is when people ask about a chapter, in this case, whether it exists. The correct protocol would be to answer if you know, and if you do not know, refer to chapter@zeitgeistmovement.com. One of the few email inboxes we will still sustain. Let me go down. We will be able to help individuals seeking information that way. In my monitoring, I have seen this not the case. If there is a reason why you would not use this venue. We should talk about it. Is there a person? Is there a name that answers these questions if they send them into this email? Do you know people who are active that answer, like, if there's no protocol? You recommended people to email this chapter at thezeitgeistmovement.com. Is that really active?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it's being manned all the time.
Okay, who's working that? Do you know the name by hand? I mean, if you
Absolutely.
don't feel comfortable- okay, who's that?
Yes. One of the persons that's actively doing it is Surf,
Okay.
one of the Dutch, chapter members. Aside from that, there's also a lot of other people that have been mentioned here before. Victor, Nelson, Paulina, everybody has access to this email that has been involved before. So there's a lot of people with access to this email.
Okay. I was just kind of curious, and
Yeah,
that's
that's fine.
that's just people who are not familiar with protocol or have particular questions.
No, these
Oh.
are people that are actually more familiar with protocol than anybody else. So
Okay, great. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay. Next on the list, Discord is a great tool to get people to work together despite time zone issues. However, there is very little active projects that I am aware of. I did scroll most of the channels in Discord. I have perhaps missed it. I don't know what's going on in here, to be honest. So
yeah, well, I mean, I'm hoping you can enlighten me.
I've
where
only
is
been
the
here for like a
active
few
project,
days.
so-
I was just invited
Okay.
in there. I don't know either, man. We're in the same boat on that. Next point. I admire the self-moderation of the Discord. I think that the people I think that is a real accomplishment. There is a flip side, however. People get a lot of space to direct the conversation. I am not suggesting to remove people. I do think we need to consider everyone, though, and to prioritize certain channels for certain purposes. It may be necessary to temporarily restrict access to certain channels for certain people.
Yeah, I can explain that.
Okay.
I mean, I guess that deserves explanation. When the conversation, and I mean, I will happily include myself in that category. When the conversation is being dominated by somebody, while taking the focus of the movement away, then yes. I guess at that point it would be a proper resolution to restrict the availability of somebody to participate in a certain channel, and and I don't exclude myself from that. So that just seems the right way to handle that.
Okay.
But it needs a resolution, you know.
Okay. That is interesting. That next point. It is important to consider the function of the administration. I believe each and every one of the current administrators is well intentioned. Some, in this capacity, even personal friends. There is, however, a difference between a passive and proactive administration. This is a field that I think needs to be equalized. Based on mutual trust and understanding, combined with proactive admins taking steps towards directing, facilitating activism, and it could be a better display of what we can do as a, let me go down, collective. I do note this needs to be a minor point for now, as the current agreement is to highlight the issues and resolves first.
Yeah, I can highlight what I mean by that. Like,
Absolutely.
as I said, if you ask me if the current administration does their job right, I highlight just what I said in the document. Like, I understand and I do genuinely believe that the people that currently are in administration that they mean well, but I don't think that they have anything else to add just to administrate, which is fine. That's their job. But I think that there should be a combination of passive administrators and proactive administrators, and yeah, that's where I take issue with right now, and that's what's been going on in the private discussions as well. So yeah, I don't know. I don't want to make it a big issue, but I do take issue.
All right, I'm gonna read the next point here. And you know, chat, if you have some good questions, you're more than likely to ask the questions. Man, I can't read your bad questions, man. But if you have some good ones, I'll read them. So I'm vetting questions temporarily. I'm trying to be hospitable to some extent, I guess. Okay, the next point is the atmosphere needs to change, in my opinion, from I'm not really sure to, well, if I don't know, here is where you can find the answer. We must come together to erase these doubts so that it is clear to our community and new members at large. Okay.
Yeah, I guess it's just an embarrassment for me, like to see. I mean, I see people that I've known have been involved with the movement just giving nonsensical answers which don't hold any basis, and I guess that's something that's very painful for me as well. And I mean, you don't have to take my emotions into account, of course not, but it still means a lot to me, like because I know that a lot of these people know that there are other venues to answer these questions, and I think that should be prioritized. If you don't know the answer, just you know, refer a venue that you will know that the answer that's correct will be given. And as long as we don't do that, that to me is not good.
Yeah, if you don't know an answer or protocol, you had suggested in here. I mean, it's in your stuff to email the chapters at thezeitgeistmovement.com, and maybe they'll know something about it, maybe.
But I'm not saying that's the complete and ultimate answer. I'm just saying if you don't know, then there are other venues to walk, and I don't agree with. Well, okay, well, I think this is the right answer, and basta. You know, that's not okay. It's just not okay, because we can figure it out together.
All right, let me move down here. Okay, short-term proposals, basically. This is the new title, new topic. Next point for the first topic of this, short-term proposals. Let me highlight each individual one so I don't get lost. Okay. We sort out one global website issue at a time, effectively, immediately. Checkpoint 2. We involve the rest of the members that are around with passive stance or active in their own circle. I'm going to get lost. I can do this together with someone from the Discord community. Checkpoint 2. Or 3. Fuck it. We make a list of who has access where. If there needs to be more access, I can function as an mediator to get this done. The next point. We harmonize all our tools, update them, and also get a new people, quote unquote, in that share responsibility. In phase 1, if this goes well, we can talk about sharing keys. Everything has to be based on trust here. Okay, next point.
Let me talk about that quickly, because that's obviously quite a statement. this is what I've been confronted with myself as well. Everything needs to be based on trust, and I agree with that. That's fine. We can base it all on trust. And this is my whole point. Like, what are the people that have keys here don't have the same keys as everybody else, and I'm not wanting to use that as a bad thing, but it's just the reality of things as it is right now. We have a lot of keys to share, and as much as people are of the opinion that we have to be very careful with who they share keys, they share the keys with here, I am also of the opinion that we have to be very careful of who we share the keys with on a global.
Okay. It's fine. Next point. We work together to increase the quality of the Discord output. This requires the effort of 3 fronts: current Discord administration, the old TZM global members, and people currently participating here. We are all on equal footing, and we should streamline a protocol that is acceptable to all. Okay. Next point. I mean, I'm not really seeing anything I really want to talk about that really stands out to me. That's why I'm kind of not really stopping. Next.
It's fine, but if you would have a question, you could ask it. It's fine.
Okay. I don't have anything right now. Next point. We continue the tradition of the newsletter. We assign willing volunteers to pick that up, report our community, even small developments. It is our responsibility to have developments to report. So, with that one, do you guys even have the? Not that it matters, but how many emails did you guys get off of the old? Because I remember you guys did have a newsletter. You guys had a lot of email, like people who signed up for the newsletter back in a long time ago. Back in 2010, I guess.
I guess over the years that the emails got a bit less, but it's still significant. Like there's a lot of emails coming in, so yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not really surprised. Maybe some of those were bots. I don't know, but I remember you talking about at one point in time, and I remember you correlated the amount of email, like the newsletter, the amount of people who signed up to the newsletter to the amount of people who participated in TZM, and I never agreed with that though, but because it never seemed like it was that big. I remember a number. I'm just throwing a number around. I could be wrong. Something like 200,000 people, but you base it on the amount of people who sign up on the newsletter. That's never gonna. it's like, really, like the numbers wouldn't make sense if you saw the amount of people participating in TZM. I just remember that offhand.
Well, I guess that's fair, but and that's the thing I'm trying to stress all the time, is that what you see is not always what is the reality of things.
Hey, Bob Dobbs says he wants to know what profession you do. Offhand, he's just kind of curious.
Oh, okay.
You don't have to say
that's fine.
Yeah,
no, it's fine. It's okay. I'm a tax official with my local government.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah, I guess, but you know, you
gotta
can
have a
make
job,
it
yeah.
as fun as you want, but yeah.
Bob is a libertarian, right? Matt, are you still a libertarian? I'm a libertarian too. Fuck you, man. Fuck the government. Yeah, he was just kind of curious on that.
Yeah, well, I guess it's anybody's right to ask whatever they want.
My
so.
career choice. I'm still a fucking programmer, man. Fucking working man for a living here. Just a FYI. Because he probably wants to know what the hell I'm doing if I'm spending time with this. I get it, Matt. Trust me. I get it. I've heard it before. With you specifically. Got it. It's funny Matt showed up. That's awesome. I like Matt. I love Matt. Okay, so
Yeah, no, it's great. I have about 10 minutes left, and then
all right,
I'll
no
go
problem. We're
pass
almost
out
done with the
and-
document here. I'm just kind of, since you wrote it up, I thought, at least I would look at it.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, that's awesome. And I mean, as I told you, like, be as brutal as you want and ask anything that you want. So.
All right, the next point, we decide together if we want to remain open in a structure or want to retry with a coordination team. At the moment, this is unclear. Part of the movement thinks teams are past history. Others think there still are teams. Only linguistic volunteers could perhaps be seen as a team now. I am neutral in this regard, but we have not really moved over the course of the years. I think it is worth a chat.
Yeah, and I'm very open in that regard. Like, I would like to know what people want, and I'm as honest and open in that as I could be. I understand, there for me there does not seem to be a reason to have global teams at the moment, but that's not the same experience as people have at the moment. So, I'm just making it a public thing. We can talk about it.
Yeah, like, so currently, are there teams within the Zeitgeist movement now?
No.
Okay. What is,
aside from the linguistic team, sorry. Yeah.
Well, is the linguistics team, I've always like, to my understanding, I don't think they're a part of any, like, they're not a part of the Zeitgeist movement.
No, not a part of the official structure, if you will, but they are still around and they do what they can when they can. So that's
what would you think would define, a group, a collaboration of people as a team? Like, what is that would entail? And I don't mean to put you on the spot, but
you can just be as brutal as you want to be. So yeah, what would define a team right now? I would say having a intent, making that intent clear, and saying what they would want to do. I guess that's the most important thing, but there really is not anything or any team that does that same thing at the moment. So
Matt, what are you talking? Z do da vat z bot z like z. What is that, dude? Matt, speak English, man. I can't read Japanese. I don't know what that is. Okay, okay. Now we're into the conclusion now of this, and I'm certainly gonna, so I read all this. I got this I'm gonna read the conclusion most certainly. We're all striving for the same cause. At least I think we do. The disparity between different groups in the movement upsets me, and also does not lead to exemplary behavior from myself. I intend to take this confusion away and help unify us to be strong. I would like to talk about the upcoming Monday, April 22nd invoice at a 2000 hour GMT in Solidarity, Gilbert. There we go. I butchered that probably, but yeah, I thought it was interesting. I mean, I would read it. And you put in some effort. I don't one moment. Nora gave you a thumbs up in chat and Discord. I don't know if you know that. She responded too with this. Nora said, I don't know if you can see the Discord chat, but I'm going to read it for my YouTube chat. It said, I would like to know why the movement is so down at the moment. Someone mentioned that people left because of people's behavior. Is this the only reason? I would like to know what has happened that people felt the need to leave. I feel like if I don't know, geez, this is so small. I feel like if I don't know the history of the movement, I can't really form a proper opinion of how we should move forward. Okay, that's what Nora...
Yeah,
Go ahead.
and do you understand how I saw it? I saw it, but do you understand how difficult it is to answer? Do you understand that?
No, not really. I mean, nah.
Okay, well, I can
I'm
make
gonna
it
be real with
easy
you.
for you. Like
I mean,
I could say
yeah.
I could say that, you know, there's different ways to answer that. Like the easy way would be to say, okay, well, yeah, you know, someone mentioned that people left because of people's behavior. Is this the only reason? I can say that, you know, if you want to be administrating in the Zeitgeist movement, you definitely need to have a thicker skin than this. I've been confronted with people that I'm sorry, I have to call them pansies because they're not used to anything, and that's fine. You know, nobody is going to be being born by having to administrate this. Not even me. So yeah, okay. It's just sad.
Let me I mean, I can appreciate a person that has ambition and gets shit done and things of that nature, but from what I've seen, you've only been here for about 2 months and you're already calling people pansies. Okay. You've not really been active. Like that's not like behavior. That's not professional behavior. I'm just saying.
I understand that's not conducive, but I'm not doing that from a position of no knowledge, you know? So I understand why you would say and feel that way, but I still have a good reason to say what I say, because I have the knowledge to condone and support that. So yes, I understand it, but you know, okay, you can question my my reasons. That's normal, and I guess that's acceptable. But I think that the question would rather be with the current administration that will not actually do anything productive, and you know, you could put your questions there as well.
Yeah.
I mean that would be the only logical explanation. Do that for a change. You know, don't focus your energy on me. Focus it on what's actually tangible and what you can see. But I can tell you, you won't see much because there's not much to see.
Matt said in chat, did not support VTB's floppy tits. Sorry. Alright.
Okay.
Fuck you, Matt. I know he's got some man boobs. You don't have to say it, Matt. Jesus.
No, but I'm
I thought I should read that
straight
one.
with that, you know. I mean, I understand, and I told you, like, be brutal as you can, and I think you're still being nice to me.
Oh no. I'm trying to, like, you know, because my thing is if you wanted to send this off to individuals or they come across this particular video, Zuko and all the other people in this Discord, the admins and mods, that they'll have a better perspective. I mean, I don't know if they'll sit through an hour and a half of this shit, but at least it'll be there that it's somewhere that you know, these are more elaborate arguments.
I think Zuko does also deserve a good explanation of things that went down, and you know, I think it's only right that you address that. But at the same time,
I mean, I've kind of, and Matt, I already did put the smackdown like in the middle of this shit. But there's not really, there's a point where like I've asked a lot of questions and there's not really any more questions for me to ask. I can't really think of anything right now. I actually want to deviate away from TZM if that's fine with you.
Yeah, you can ask me anything.
And this is just stuff about you and nothing to do with the Zeitgeist movement, basically.
All right, well, let's get into it right now then, because in a moment I will definitely have to go to sleep. So
absolutely.
If
Okay,
you want
yeah.
to,
What time is it over there? I just want to get a perspective.
It's 6 in the morning.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, I'm keeping you up then. Shit. Okay. What are you currently like? What is the current plan of attack being in this Discord right now? What is your current apparent like? What is your plans with the Zeitgeist movement and this Discord? What are you gonna do? You know, you've from what I've seen, you're requesting admin privileges after 3 years of not being really that active. And, you know, what's your plan of attack right now? Or I don't want to say plan of attack, but what's your plan?
Yeah, I guess that's only a logical question to ask. What I'm concerned about right now is some things that I've laid out in the document that I've presented, but we could talk about it in voice as well. I don't see a plan of action, and that concerns me quite a lot. And I do have a plan of action, and I'm willing to talk about it in voice or in documents or whatever is required for people to understand. Yeah, so you know, I guess that for me at the moment, the main concern is that there is no direction, and I don't think that direction should be imposed, but it could be implied in the same sense that, you know, people just intend direction or say what they would like to see, and I have the means to impose that. So I guess, and I think that it's right for people to ask me like, okay, well, we're not really sure. Of course, on an egotistical level, that hurts me because, you know, I've done quite a lot. I've done more than anybody else in this Discord to affect that change. But I do think that it's a normal question to ask. So okay, I'll live with that. But at the same time, I do think that it's not really conducive to behave ourselves that way. Yeah, that's really difficult for me.
Okay. Can't think of anything right now, to be honest. I think I ran out of questions. Chat, if you guys got any questions, fucking shoot them up. This guy's got to go to bed at 6 a.m. wherever he lives.
Yeah, well, maybe it's not that interesting, but I think maybe it's good for people to hear it afterwards.
I've been chatting with you, and I got invited in this Discord because someone had caught whiff of shit that I had posted on the skepticproject.com website. So I thought I would, you know, hop in here, see what's going on, and I don't know right now. So, yo, Matt.
Okay,
Matt's got a question. Go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead and ask a question if you want to. Matt, punching someone in the face is not a question. I'm just saying.
I'm not watching the chat just for
don't watch the
reasons.
chat. He's just joking around. He's being a nice.
Okay, can I just make a closing statement on my own? Is that
Absolutely,
okay?
absolutely.
I often get asked why I'm even involved in stuff like. I guess sometimes it's hard to understand, but um, despite of all the difference that we all have in the approach, I'm just concerned. I'm concerned for humanity, and I I want us to do well. And this is one of the things that attracted me to the Zeitgeist movement, because there's a lot of people that are concerned about our well-being, and despite of all the things that I might say, despite of how I might conduct myself, which is not always good, which I'm more than willing to admit, I'm still very concerned, and I just want us to do well. I want us to succeed as a species, and I will do whatever it takes to affect that, whether I will be popular by it or not, and that's a choice that you have to make for yourself. I've already made that choice, so that's who I am, and I love everybody, and yeah.
No, it's great. Hey, Till, what's going on? Till is a guy now. He's a cool dude.
What's up, Bob? How are you doing?
Oh, it's good, man. I'm kind of changing things up a little bit with my stuff. I got pulled back into this. It's called the Zeitgeist movement. So I've been here for the past few days.
Yeah, hey man, Attila, you okay?
Hey, what's up, Gilbert? How are you?
I'm okay. How are you?
I'm alright. So, is the Geist like the movies?
Yeah. If you watch Zeitgeist 1, Zeitgeist 2, Zeitgeist Addendum.
So I watched the first three. Yeah, I watched the three of them. Three Zeitgeist movies.
Nice. Yeah. We're with Gilbert. Gilbert is he was involved heavily with the Zeitgeist movies the movement in the past. So we're kind of like talking about that particular subject. Yo, Matt, what's up, Matt? Matt just said something. I get it, Matt. Okay, Matt just said you're seriously betraying your roots, bro. I know! Matt, I'm open-minded, man. That's all.
Okay, so let's talk about the Zeitgeist movement. I didn't like the first movie at all. I didn't feel like it solved any question. The last one was good. I really liked some of the project outline, but it seemed like it just ended there. Like, it kind of made some predictions. It didn't really come true.
Yeah, no, there was no solidarity in that movie. I mean, it did raise some questions, but I guess it left a lot of other things unanswered for people.
So where's the movement at right now?
I guess we're trying to figure that out. Like, there's a lot of people here that have the right idea about the train of thought as we talk about, but we're trying to establish ourselves and make sure that we move forward from that direction. So yes, it's not an easy position to give a clear answer to, as you ask me right now, which I understand, but I can't give you a clear answer at the moment.
Well, they had a lot of good ideas on automation and Jean Fresco's ideas. But with automation, there's a lot of talk about that AI, CRISPR, even just self-driving vehicles. So a lot of people think it's in the very near future. It's definitely in the future, but how near it is, I think, is the bigger question.
Yeah, no, but I understand that, and you're right. I mean, the technological advancements are something to take into consideration. I think for the moment, it's more important to invest in what people could uh, realize for this movement in terms of morals and ethics. So you know that this is different situation from just focusing on the factual information, which I think also is very important. So I'm not discrediting that. It's just a different topic, I guess.
Attila, did you watch the third series of Zeitgeist by chance?
Yeah. So the third one was my favorite. The third one had some good ideas, and that's the one with Jane Fresco. And all that stuff, like society. Well, here's the thing: changes are happening all the time. The internet's changing us, technologies, smartphones, all kinds of things. So that's not going to change. There's going to be more of that. The question is how that's going to affect everything.
No, I guess that's one of the most difficult questions to answer for everybody. Yeah, how will it affect everybody? I mean, even with the Zeitgeist movement, I think that we could have an effect on society at large. It's just how is it going to affect everybody, and how do we keep the conversation ongoing? And that's a difficult answer to give. I just know from my own experience that at the moment it's more important to focus on the little things, to correct things that we haven't done right as a movement, which you might not be familiar with, but with what I am familiar with, and make sure that those things are done right, so that it will be easier to understand what's happening on a global scale.
So what are those little things?
Mainly website issues at the moment. These are some things that our members have pointed out for a long time, which haven't been picked up on. So I guess we'll start there.
Website issues like hosting?
No, more in the presentation of the website.
Oh, presentation. You guys using WordPress?
Yeah, and that's been an issue with many people. So I can understand why you would highlight that. But yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's okay. I mean, the platform. Yeah, in the end, I understand. People have reservations and opinions about it.
Well, I gotta tell you, there's really not much of the Geist movement. It pretty much died with the movies. John Fresco had some good ideas, but those didn't really have an impact on society. Society is changing, and the technology, like change is happening. But it's not so much as the Zeitgeist movement affecting that change, as can it even keep up?
Yeah, well, I guess that's a fair comment, but I think it can, and it still is here. I mean, many people are still here. They're still interested in the Zeitgeist movement. But I don't think that it deserves the attention in the current capacity that it is. So that's something that we need to improve in order for everybody else to have an interest in it. So yeah, I partially agree with you, but I partially also disagree with you.
Halt, did you get here through Ice Poseidon 3, or how did you get around these woods?
Attila, go ahead, man.
No, I just wanted to ask for clarification because
Same.
I didn't completely Sorry, I didn't understand the
Yeah,
question.
my question was for alt universe. Yeah. Question was for alt
Okay,
universe.
could you say that again?
It was kind of a joke. Did
Oh,
you
I'm
find
sorry.
Discord through Ice Poseidon 3, or how did you get?
Oh, what to hear?
Yeah,
Oh.
on the Geist and these topics.
Oh, how did I got the Zeitgeist? It's kind of a little story, but the short version is I was working on another project and required some type of translation software, and this project called the Poodle Projects was a translation software group that was open source, was working on this stuff, and I started asking questions in the Freenoid IRC channel. Long story short, they said this guy called Lucas within the Zeitgeist movement, who's a developer in the Zeitgeist movement, is doing some heavy stuff with the Poodle projects. And then I met up with Lucas, and that's how I came across the Zeitgeist movement. Basically, was through the Poodle project, which is an open source thing. So that's how I found across it. But I've watched the movies beforehand. I think just about everyone has. It's been spanned on the internet, but I never really took them seriously, to be honest.
Well, the movies seemed like they had a lot of weight behind them at the time, but I mean, just look at track record, the history. Nothing really came of it. But Gilbert, what you guys have a website?
Yeah, certainly. We do have a website. What is important though is having a dialogue as well. I mean.
Yeah, can I look up? Can you give me the website so I can look it up?
Yeah, it's quite simple. It's www.thezeitgeistmovement.com. So.
Oh, so okay, so it's with the.
But I mean, I wouldn't say it's that representative right now. I think the right questions are in the right place right now. So if you're wondering anything, just ask.
Well, yeah, but just like you talked about the issues. I mean, so it would be related to the website, and so
absolutely.
A big part of your image.
Yes, and that's something that
looks good. WordPress is actually a great tool, a great platform to build on, and it's got a lot of possibilities that you can integrate into it.
Yeah, it's not horrific, but there needs to be some changes, and I guess many people have been expressing that. So and if you have any comments, then that would be also welcomed. So.
Okay, so you had event, but yeah, the events stopped in 2017, or is that just not up?
Interesting. I'm sorry, I'm like all over the place. I'm like reading chat, trying to focus on what you guys say, looking up some information real fast.
So you guys have a 320-page PDF, and that's supposed to outline the whole of the Zeitgeist movement.
You're talking about the Zeitgeist movement defined, or?
Yes, that's the title, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if you would like to know about the movement, that would be the right source to go to.
Okay, yeah. So 320 pages, of course. Reads.
I understand it's not a small commitment, so I wouldn't expect you to read all of it. But
okay, but you guys do have a mission statement up here. So let's
absolutely
see. Founded in 2008, the Zeitgeist movement is a sustainability and public health advocacy organization. It conducts research and activism through a network of regional chapters, public events, and various forms of educational media. The focus includes recognizing that the majority of modern world's social problems, including mounting ecological crises and destabilizing economic inequality, oppression, poverty, conflict, corruption, etc., is not an inevitable outcome of our civilization. Rather, TMZ deems these issues are consequential symptoms of an outdated social system. Okay, I'm not going to keep reading it. There's more here, but I mean, yeah, it sounds in tune with the movies. But so, are there no more events, or is the website just not up? It seems like there was events up to 2017, or is the Ice Day still happening?
Well, I mean, we have constant events going on. I guess that this distinction is that there are different kind of events. We have Z days, which are our annual events where we have lectures going on from different people, also from different groups.
When is Z Day?
The next Z Day will be in March, expectedly in the next year.
Okay, so it just passed.
Yeah, we just had one. Yeah.
Where was the last?
Argentina.
Argentina, nice. Are you from there?
No. I'm from the Netherlands.
Oh, Netherlands. Okay, cool. I'm from Canada.
All right, nice, man. Yeah, I was in Toronto. We had a Z Day there as well, so that's nice.
When was it in Toronto?
2014, if I'm correct.
2014,
don't mark me on it, but that's probably.
Yeah. Okay, I'm just kind of. I was curious. Not a big deal. So 2014 in Canada. Last year was Argentina. Did you go to last year's?
No. Actually, I've taken some time in my personal life too.
So yeah, that's cool. That's cool. So what happened on that?
What do you mean? Can you explain your question?
Well, what do you know about it? You must have seen, was there anyone streaming it, or at least recording it? Was any of the
yes,
any of it recorded
absolutely,
and published?
Yeah.
So
yes.
you must know something about the timetable. What was the event? Who were the speakers? What were the topics?
Yeah, no, that's a very straightforward question. Yeah, I do. And I think we can all inform you if you want to know that information. I think the speakers are what makes the event. So it's the most important thing. So yes, in regards to the Argentina event, I can't really give you the specifics of the speakers, although they are publicly available.
Yeah, I understand. No problem. But you came to the Canada one, you said.
No, I didn't go to the Canada one. I'm sorry if I was unclear on that. No, I did not go. I did not go for the last 2 years.
It was just in Canada. So have you gone to any of these?
Yes, I have, and I've also spoken on many of them.
Oh, you've been a speaker.
Yes.
Okay, so which one was the last one you went to?
The last one that's publicly available would be Berlin in 2015, which has a clear recording as well.
Okay, awesome. And was that the one that you were speaking on?
Yes, I also organized the whole event. So.
Okay, yeah. So you organized it. Okay, so tell us about that event a little bit.
Or would you like to know?
Well, so what? I mean, you obviously organized it. You were there the whole time, so you must know about it. What would you say what would you say the outcome of this, the impact?
Well, I mean, it's as difficult with as anything, you know. I mean, we can talk about everybody wanting to affect global change in any capacity, and that it's not easy, of course, and we all know that. I think that the effect that that event had was that people at least found a way to talk to each other about these issues, and then found a way to move forward as well. So I think that that is the impact of having such an event.
Yeah, for sure. A lot of times it's hard to gauge. And
Yeah, but I'm definitely not fluffy in that sense. You know, okay, you can say that, and you have an event and people find each other, blah blah blah. That's fine. I'm very, very realistic, and I'm very cold in that regard as well. Like, okay, well, but have you actually affected?
Yeah, it's just a question, and even like best case scenario, alt universe. Do you want to weigh in on anything?
Oh, I'm sorry, I'm not paying attention so much. I was, my girlfriend was bothering me about something, so like.
So I'm not trying to hijack your show.
No, that's fine, dude.
Have a conversation.
This is how that normally goes, anyway. So.
Yeah. Okay, we won't bother you.
No, I don't think anybody is bothering anyone. It's just at the moment it's 6:30 in the morning here, so I need to go to sleep. Yeah, I need to. So if you do it.
Gilbert, it's like it's pretty early over there. He's been up all night, and he made a concluding statement, and then someone hops in. That's usually how it goes, though. But Attila, like I can stay on and chat with you, dude. I don't mind doing that.
Yeah. If you like, go ahead and do your concluding statement.
Oh, he already did it. He already did it. You hopped in immediately right after.
Yeah, I understand. I mean, Attila, I'm always willing to talk, and if you have any more questions in that regard, or
I'm a streamer, so but yeah, I didn't mean to hijack it.
No, you didn't. You didn't.
Yeah.
This is how it went. It's okay.
I know, Attila. I don't know if you consider yourself a part of the cream team, but
no, absolutely not.
Okay, fair enough.
but I'm familiar with the cream movement.
What about the OG militia? Is that still a thing, or
I'm no longer a part of that community either.
Okay, fair point. I don't even know what OG
as one of the streamer. So I'm technically one of the supporters. I'm not one of the streamers.
Okay, got you. That was pretty cool. The Beast thing. I heard about all that shit with Beast donating a 10K to you.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. What can I say?
Rich get richer, man. Hell yeah.
Well, I'm not rich at all, but
10,
what do you want to
10K,
say?
man. That's fucking rich to me, man. I'd fucking take that all day long.
Well, it's a lot of money for me too. That's why I'm not rich.
I mean, I still pick up pennies off the ground, so.
Yeah, I do too.
I save every penny, man. No, that's fucking awesome though. So you were just sleeping and you just donated just randomly?
Yeah.
Wow.
The VODs are up there, and I mean he put it in his video. Some of it's cut in his video, but it's really just some of it's cut out.
Oh yeah.
It was more drawn out. But yeah, it was close to the morning, and there was nobody in there. And he came in and just donated that. And I did wake up. I talked to them a little bit, but I mean it's just.
Boys, I'm really fainting, so I'm going to sleep.
Yeah,
so
Gilbert, go sleep, man. You go to bed. I'm gonna
good chat. Thanks for meeting you. Yeah, for sure. I'll meet up with you another time, Gilbert.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that, and thank you as well for hosting what you did, and that's good. So we'll talk another time. And you guys have a good night.
All right, man. You too, man.